Hello guys, this is Theo from Fino Concepts, and today we are going to be looking at adjustment layers and other adjustments we could put on our image. So this is from our previous episode or lesson. You could check that one out. Let me hit on OK. So I brought up my move tool. I'm just going to click on any of these boxes. Then once I do that, I'm going to right click and flip this horizontally. So this is going to be horizontal, and I just click on OK. Now for our adjustment layers, you click on the fourth icon at the bottom here, not this, not this, not that, this one. So if I click on it, we have a few other options you could also use. For a solid color, just like our previous episodes, you can just create a layer on top of this entire image, but it's going to be just one color. So I'm going to set this to, I think, turquoise. Then I'll hit OK. So just one color on top of our image. I could change the blend mode to soft light, and this is what it is looking like. This is what it's looking like. So we could toggle in and out of it. So that's it for color fill. You just replace or you put an entire layer of one specific color on top of your image. So let me just delete that up. Second on the list is gradient. So just like the solid color, we could put a gradient on top of this image. Now it's set to red to transparent, and red is our foreground color, so I could set it to black. If I want to darken certain portion, I could set it to black and hit OK. So with the gradient fill, we could change it to radial. I noticed that radial have the black at the center, then it becomes transparent when getting to the edges. We could change it to angle. If the angle is 90 degrees, it's just from this side, then it fades away. So I could change it to 180, then from this side it fades away. 270 to the same thing, but I'm going to leave it as 19. Then here you have the option of scaling it. So if I set it back to radial, you notice that scaling it is going to take up the part of the image we want. So if I select it to probably 500%, then it's going to take up 500% of that layer. And reverse is going to change. Notice that it's black to transparent, so reverse is going to be transparent to black. So this entire portion, the center, which was black, is now transparent. Then moving to the edges, it becomes black. So let me set this to 100 so that you see what I was talking about. So now if we take reverse out, you notice that it's black, then it's becoming transparent at the edges. We reverse it, it becomes transparent. Oh, it comes, why so it becomes transparent, then blackens at the other edges. So if I double click on this part, not the layer, the gradient fill itself, the options come up once again. So I could set this to diamond 2 and get this diamond looking like gradient fill over. So I'll just hit cancel. I don't need that, and I'm going to delete this one too. So the next one is pattern. Now pattern just like the other one, I didn't really like to use. But if you want to create a certain background, the pattern is okay to use. So let's just say we took out some part of this image. I'll bring up my quick selection tool, and I'm just going to take this portion of the eagle. I don't have to be perfect. Let's just use this part and create a layer mask. So the pattern, if I bring this layer below that, meaning I want to show my eagle on top, I have this pattern becomes pattern layer becomes a nice background you could put on your image. So let's just delete the layer mask, and let's just delete this one to delete layer. Okay. Next is brightness. Brightness is an adjustment layer. In case you don't get this, you could go to Windows, then you go to properties, then this comes up. You could also drag. I've already discussed this, so I'm not going to be talking about it anymore. So for the brightness, if I double click on this part, the brightness part, you notice that we could increase the brightness here. We could make it darker. We could increase the contrast too. So basically you have two options you could work with. It's very simple. So let me delete brightness and contrast. Now level is another way of increasing the exposure of the image. So here I'm darkening it, and I bring it to the left. It increases the brightness or exposure of the image. You could also, I'm not going to talk about this, you could set it to default and use this. So these are okay for you. I just delete this one up. You could also apply curves to it. If I drag down here and increase this part, we have curves working on the image. Now notice that all these are not affecting the actual image. They are just adjustment layers on top of the image, so the image is still intact. I'll hit delete on my keyboard. So I'll bring up exposure. We could, just like the name, we could just increase the brightness, or could reduce how exposed the image is. Delete. Vibrance. So basically that's it. There are so many you could use. Black and white is going to change the image to black and white. Now the red portion, any red part of the image you could manipulate. Notice that this part of the image has a little bit red in it. So if I bring up the black and white adjustment layer, if I increase the red part, you notice that that red part is being affected. Now there's a lot of black in it, so if I change this to there isn't black, if I change it to blue filter, we could also work there. So let me delete this also. We also have selective color gradient map, so you could play with any of these. Photo filter. Now photo filter comes with some presets. In case you want a warmer color, you could select from any of these. If you want a colder color or a cooler filter, you could also select from these. But if you have your own specific one, you could just click on color, then you change it to probably green is what you like, then just hit OK, and you could increase the density of the photo filter so green is showing over this image. My favorite would be the gradient and solid color. Let me see, I use curves too. What haven't I talked about? Hue and saturation to changes. So basically I use this to change the colors of certain shapes and images. So let's just say I bring up my ellipse tool. Let me hide this with my color set to red. If I create I won't call this a circle. If I create an ellipse right here, let me hit on OK. Then I could bring up my hue and saturation, and I could change the color to any color I deem necessary. So I set this to affect that, and I'm good to go. Threshold is basically going to take the black and white part of the image. It's going to make it black and white, I should say. So you drag to the left to expose more white, drag to the right to increase the blackness of the image. Delete everything up. Invert is just going to invert everything. The white portion will be black, the black portion will be white, and the other portions are going to be some weird colors you don't want to know about. So let's just delete this up. So basically that's it for adjustment layers. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm sorry, I'm so tired, but I still have to create this video. So give it a thumbs up if you like